Hey guys, welcome back to Rice
Unwashed.
Yeah, what's going on?
All right,
let's get into it, boys.
Let's get into it. Dennis, this is a very special episode for you today, isn't it?
I have a hard on, yes.
We're talking about fitness. And all right, so fitness and gym, we know you're currently going through a building competition.
Yes.
You're going to compete in September?
September and October. Watch out.
Yes, wow. Two
yeah.
Two and we know you've also started your little side gig.
Yes, I have.
Yep.
As our VIP members here, our Origin members.
Kaiju number one?
Kaiju number one. I just build monsters. That's what I do.
Yep.
So it's a human experimentation side gig. Nah, it's actually an online fitness platform that doesn't just focus on the workout part. I try to take in like social events and all this kind of thing so that people can incorporate fitness into their lifestyle and make it a bit easier. Explain, really make it a 101 dummy thing, for a lot of people. And it's been going really good. I've only got one spot left now, so.
Wow.
Yeah, June was the goal for it, but we've, lots of love, lots of support, so thank you all so much.
So anyone who wants to take that last spot,
Golden
it's
ticket.
Very hot in demand. We've got a few people,
We do, actually.
lining up for this.
Yeah.
If not, I'll take the last.
Double
I'll pay
membership.
double of it. But yeah, hit him up. He's very, very knowledgeable, very, very good at what he does, and it really shows when he teaches you everything and talks about it. So
I love it.
you can tell he's just really passionate.
Oh man, it makes it so easy. It's been such an easy journey for me at the moment with cutting. So,
let's talk about your journey, from the beginning, for how fitness has changed throughout your life.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I was quite skinny. You know what I mean? Because I remember I did a lot of swimming when I was younger, and I'm pretty sure once because I did it for years, and after when I stopped swimming, I started gaining weight. But of course, when you're realizing it, and I think at the time, if I remember correctly, around in primary school or around primary or at the end of primary, that's when I started playing tennis. Mom, my parents is that you play an instrument or you play sport? You pick one. And I was just and I was like, sport. Okay, yeah. Mom's like, we won't play. I'm like, I have no idea. And then, so at the time, Mom knew a friend of a friend that he's a coach that teaches tennis. Right. So he has a club, and I'm just like, yeah, all right, let's do it. So, and then I started playing tennis when I was a kid for 5 years.
This explains why you're so black.
It's probably It
probably is.
So one because I'm always outdoors.
Yeah,
when I was a kid, I'm always swimming, skateboarding. Always I'm on my bike. I'm always outside. So that's
it's a Blasian.
It's a Blasian.
Yeah,
it's not the only thing that's black.
And then so I started playing tennis. And I realized I tone up a bit during tennis. And then, long story short, I think 5 years after we stopped playing because, I grew out of it, didn't want to play anymore. And in high school, I started to gain a lot of weight, but I never noticed. I knew I was a big guy, chubby.
Creeps up on you.
Yeah, but I never noticed until at the time when everyone had the TB hair. Everyone had TB hair.
No, you're gonna have to float a picture of that.
Yeah, and I was chubby, right? I knew I was chubby, but I didn't know how big I was. And man, I was still pulling girls. I was still had a girl.
Yeah, you have to throw that out there.
Club penguin.
No, because I still remember because it's the funny thing is I didn't realize how fat I was.
Yeah.
And then because my pants was about size 38.
Wow, that's a
I weighed and this
big
was
man pants.
Yeah, this is in high school, right? So just around, I think I was in year 11. All right, so so I had really big. I was pretty big. Weighed about 90 kilos, just fat. And then
as a high school kid.
Yeah, and then what happened was I shaved my head because that time Tai Young was upcoming, massive, right?
You get dreadlocks too?
Yeah. So Tai Young was massive, so from Big Bang, if you guys don't know. And he had the faux hawk.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was just damn, man. I was
this
man.
is it?
I was so in love with Tai Young. Tai Young is sick, you know what I mean? So I was one of the many Asians, the first one to shave my hair. Because everyone had the whole TB hair. Yeah. So I shaved it. I remember shaving it and it looked really good, but my face was fucking like a potato.
Once you get rid of the sides, your face gets accentuated.
It was massive, and I was like, fuck. And then I realized like, you know what, I need to start fucking working out.
Yeah.
So I told my friend like, yo, let's start, you know, let's play tennis. So I start playing tennis slowly, then let's go running. So we start running, and then start being a bit more active again. And I stopped eating fast food. I still remember I stopped completely eating fast food. Just
No fried
like
chicken.
no fried, like you know,
Maggis.
no the big three, like big was it McDonald's, Hungry Jack's, KFC, none of that, right?
Domino's.
Just full cut all that out. Just drink a lot of water, and I just ate home cooked meals. And then so it's just really basic, just doing a lot of cardio at the time. And then one of my friends like, yo, do you want to go to the gym? I'm like, what's a gym? Like, you know what I mean? Because this is like back in 2009, 2008 or something, right? Gym was like not like popular till now, right? No one, and I was like, what the fuck's a gym? And so my friend told me like, no, let's say he took us and we started paying casuals, going once a week, or we started paying casuals, yeah. And at that time it was like $10.
It was cheap.
Yeah, it was cheap.
It's cheap.
And well, we loved it, and then my friend was like, "Fuck, let's just join. $13 a week, and we're paying casual, like $10 every time." And we're like, "Yeah, fuck it." And it's so funny. We said that's when my finish is. I start paying, and start going every day with my friends after school.
Donating to a gym for a long time.
Yeah, and that time I usually just did cardio. That's because that's all I knew. So I didn't know anything about weight training until my friend from school, because he goes to the same gym, and he's just like, he started teaching me like chest, back, everything, because he was a state judo champion.
True.
Yeah, so I had like a lot of he showed me the ropes basically. He showed me how to lift this and that. It was really cool. And of course, like, you know, me, such a friendly person, you start talking to a lot of people at the gym, and then they start giving me tips. Yeah, and then I start going to different gyms because everyone's like, oh, come to my gym, and then we'll like start training a lot of different people. And then I remember in 1 year, because this is in senior year now, because now we're switched to senior year, I lost 20 kilos.
Whoa.
I dropped, and I just smashed.
Like, what, 70?
I got down to 75.
Damn.
And I was like,
That's
man,
heaps.
everyone knows it in senior. Everyone's like, whoa, what the fuck, did you lose weight? Because my clothes were so big on me.
Dude, if you don't notice 20 kilos difference, there's a bit of
Because like my clothes were so big on me, like all my shirts were like massive.
Yeah.
And I still remember that time my girlfriend, she hugged me and she was like, oh my God, I can put my arm around you now. Because I just dropped so much weight. And I got everyone into the gym, because playing tennis, we were running, we were playing soccer. I was just saying,
You're the fitness guru.
Yeah.
When they had time.
Yeah, when we had no mortgages.
We had nothing else
Yeah,
to
you
do.
know what I mean? Like, it was good. And then of course, every year it got older. It was just like a cycle of like ups and down. And that's...
It sounds like you started pretty early, because if you're gymming and you said by senior you're...
Yeah, you've been in there for ages.
Yeah, I've been gymming.
14, 13?
Yeah, that's why I have so much like knowledge.
Explains why he's so bloody strong.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, because like, in a way, that's why I have a lot of knowledge, because I was training such a young age, and I gym with so many different people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And at the time, I worked for a supplement store in senior year too. So when I finished high school, because I worked in a supplement store, so I knew a lot of supplements. I kind of hanged out with like, a few bodybuilders. I knew them as well. So it makes
Secondary learning.
Secondary learning.
Environment. He was in the environment.
Yeah. So that time, like, man, I want to be PT. Like, I want to be PT. Like, that was like, oh, wow, I want to be. I never became a PT.
This actually explains why he's so bloody strong.
He's really strong.
Yeah. So now it was good. But of course, now it's just up and down. And got stronger, got weaker, got fatter, got fitter. Like, every year is just different. And this year's been good. So start of the year since now, on Dennis's program.
After Philippines?
After Philippines, I've been losing a lot of weight. And even when I was like editing the video, like just thinking, I'm like, oh man, I think I look slimmer on the video.
It is though, you can see your face has slimmed
I remember
down.
in the first video, when I first edited, I was like, fuck, man, I look so fat in that video, like in the video.
I remember, like, you didn't even like the angle.
Yeah, I know the angle. I was like looking at myself, like, fuck, you fat fuck. But then now I'm just, I feel good again. I feel more confident. So,
that's good.
No,
It's interesting you say that, because I feel like when I spoke to you, I reckon before Philippines, we're having conversations around like confidence and how we feel about ourselves. And I remember you saying you just feel like shit, you don't feel good.
Yeah.
And then I feel like there's a massive change in your energy and how you're talking about yourself right now.
For sure.
Yeah.
Confidence.
And you look good, like,
You're looking good.
Yeah.
And the confidence level is just something else.
No, exact same. Like, I remember, because last year, if everyone's followed, like, it was just drinking alcohol. Yeah, there's a lot of alcohol, and I just have like no motivation, and I think I was just so content with my life last year as well. So I'm just like, man, I'll just go gym here and there, and I'm eating bad. But yeah, and then I knew that I was like fucking so much weight, and then started to not fit all my bigger clothes too.
Dang,
and I was like, you know,
that's when you started.
Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I started freaking out because I'm like, I can't fit large anymore. Like, let's go higher.
bad.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, fuck. And then especially when Dennis like, with your whole program and everything, I'm like, I want to jump on, and I was like, I'll do it after Philippines. I was with Luke in the room in the accommodation. I'm just like to Luke, like, I don't feel comfortable whatsoever with my body, and even my suit was like getting a bit tight. You know what I mean? My shirt a bit tight. So I'm really surprised now. I want to try to put my suit back on and see how
different it is.
Yeah. But I feel really good. Like, I'm so motivated again. So no, it's good.
He's been doing well. Like, congratulations to Mike. Like, honestly, he hit a new low on his weights. Like this week, once again, massive drop. But he's been ticking it off. He's been doing everything that's been prescribed, and it's been shown. Man's like locked in, as you Gen Z people say.
Locked in. He's for sure locked in. Like, talking every week. And
I feel more consistent. Like, I feel really, really good. So
well done, man.
I feel like I think Mikey's one of Mikey's famous poses is this. Can we get one of these emojis on if you see the difference in Mikey?
With his leg up?
Yeah. That's what I got. It's just one this leg here, this arm. That's all it is.
But honestly,
so punch an emoji of this.
We've been there from day one from his transformation, but like we're not even through. Like, guys, like this is just the beginning, and he's already shown us so much. But like proud moments. Like watching this happen is just proud for me, because I'm watching all the numbers, all this change, and I'm just like sitting there like, my boy, that's my boy.
Yeah, but so at the start, it was just more of like, just stop eating bad food and just eat home cooked meals.
Simple.
Yeah, just real simple. And I still like able to lose 20 kilos. You know what I mean? So, but I think at the time it's just more, just gotta be consistent. Yeah. Like, at the end of the day, you just need to be consistent, because like, of course, like when I got older, life, travels, work, this and that. Yeah, it's just like up and down. But yeah, it's definitely hard to be consistent. So.
Can really agree with that.
What about you, Kaiju number one?
How I started?
Yeah, what's your journey of fitness? You got your Cali background.
My what?
The Cali, your Cali phase and all that.
So, I guess I started off as like that scrawny kid.
Oh, you were tiny. Right?
Yeah, I was just really skinny. Didn't have to train and you have a six-pack kind of thing.
You were just a lean boy.
Fuck you.
Sorry. But I feel like, for me personally, it was very much like I couldn't gain weight. That was always my issue. Going through primary school, high school, I was just scrawny, and I think it got to a point where I want a bit more size. And naturally, like I think also like Mikey, where got to choose either music or sport. I naturally gravitated towards sports. I was naturally very sporty in school.
Dancing, you love your dancing?
Yeah, a little bit of dancing, but played a bit of tennis as well, soccer, basketball, dancing, and even after high school, I would still, play some basketball and whatnot. Sure. So there's always something, doing something active. I probably would say I started my gym journey around like maybe early 20s, and that was when the mindset shifted. I was like, I kind of want to, in all honesty, start off with more aesthetics. So it's like, I want to get more size, I want to be bigger. Because that was kind of the period when the whole bodybuilding was getting bigger. Ziz came in. YouTubers, looking good, looking fit. But again, just major struggle in terms of, gaining size. I always had like a really quick metabolism. And
you just want to get jacked.
I want to look jacked, yeah.
To simplify it, you want to get jacked.
I want to look jacked. I want to get the girls.
There it is.
There it is. Hey, I'm just being honest.
Hey, we're young.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? It's probably still the reason.
No, it's actually shifted a little bit. But
now it's different,
From starting gym, went with some mates, and then again, just training through again, just more like overall, it was more keeping fit.
Okay.
So. Did go through a bit of period of like, getting comfortable. Probably maybe 5-6 years ago, I was a little bit chubby on the side.
Okay.
But just from eating shit, like, just not eating well.
Not a good relationship with food.
Yeah, that's right. And so, again, I think from then I realized how bad it was. And so I started getting on like these little 10-week cut programs.
Fad diets.
Yeah, all that stuff. And you know, every year we'll start on a new year. New Year's
Yeah.
resolution.
Yeah.
Oh, let's start a cut, you know.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I'll do pretty well in terms of losing weight, but I didn't really go in with much knowledge.
Right.
I went in with the mindset, oh, let's just like eat less.
Yeah.
I think I did maybe. I think the second year was like got a bit of a program happening, so eating slightly healthier, but not calorie tracking anything. It was kind of just eating less.
Right.
You know, less carbs. Or that was the idea I had then. And then, but you know, when you do that kind of cut, I started shredding a lot more muscle.
Yeah. Short-term fixes.
Short-term fixes, you know, and I lost weight, but I still look scrawny.
Right.
You know, it wasn't like so much like I was built and like, you know, looking.
You didn't look better in the way that you built on muscle. You just had lost fat.
Yeah.
So you just had, you know, looked leaner.
Yeah. And then, you know, at the time I didn't go outside much. I was white as and pasty. So I was like, I couldn't really see any lines at all. So I was like, it wasn't a good look. I still wasn't happy with it.
You're like, what the fuck do I know to do for 10 weeks?
I know. Anyways, but over time, you know, started doing a bit more, and I eventually got into calisthenics.
Yep.
And calisthenics was really good in terms of like movement, very different type of, I guess, gymming.
Yep.
Because it's all about body weight, a lot more joint, like, I guess,
Mobility
and all that stuff. And then eventually shifting calisthenics to, I guess, meeting you, learning more about, you know, macro tracking, and I guess now on your program with, you know, tracking macros and everything, and learning a lot more about what you eat, you know, what you absorb, how to train. I guess, you know, when I first started training with you, I think technique wasn't there at all. And I think since I've sort of trained with you, I've learned a lot more about my body, a lot more about, I guess, tracking macros, how it affects your body, how it affects your energy, and also your fatiguing during training and all that. So it's been a really, really interesting journey.
It's a science.
Yeah, the science behind it. So that's been, it's been a really good journey. And leading up to now, I think the reasons probably changed a little bit on why I want to train.
Right, yep.
A lot of it now is coming down to, I think, I've lost a fair bit of consistency and discipline over the last few years. And I think I'm just trying to gain that back more so for myself mentally. The training is obviously keep healthy and everything, but I think mentally having that discipline and discipline and mentality to be consistent has been the very important part of my life now.
It's like a marker.
Yeah.
You know, to keep you in check.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because, you know, I've always had a mindset of like self-improvement.
Yeah.
And I think part of that has to do with a lot of discipline.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, you can't self-improve.
Yeah.
So, and you know, something I guess I've learned off you watching you be consistent with what you do and disciplined with what you do.
And you can see the changes, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
True.
But sorry.
Actually, really interesting topic you brought up, because I believe this is a very hot topic within our group. Yeah. Eating less, is that the answer?
Well, before that, you know, like me going through for so long, and I think it worked out really well for me was intermittent fasting.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because so it kind of minimizes your eating as well.
Yep.
And so at the time, like maybe eating less was the idea for me, right? Because I did lose a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And or even just you know, not gaining.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, when you know, on Dennis's program, Dennis is like making me rice. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure I'm allowed to eat this much?
This is a lot of food, like, you know what I mean?
Like, just eat
and then when Dennis like explains to me like certain hours, like where to eat, where you get the energy from, and I was like, wow, like holy fuck, I was losing weight. Like
by eating heaps.
And then I think the thing that you said to me was that, because especially with intermittent fasting, because I'm always starving, and then by the time I want to eat, I'll eat, and I'm still doesn't satisfied, and then you crave, and then you eat bad. Like, you know what I mean? Or you overeat.
Which is different,
you overeat, and I realized, because I'm always so hungry, and that's why, and then of course these cravings come in, so I'm just going to eat bad all the time, and that's why I'm not there now, because I'm always consistently pretty full or like feeling good, and I actually eat less. Or not eat less, but like eat the right amount.
The right amount. You don't binge eat anymore.
Yeah, don't binge eat. Yeah, that's right. I have cravings, but like, I don't binge anymore.
Of course, we all have cravings. We're human, right? Yeah.
But no, it's definitely Dennis made it so much more easier of me like calculating or like what to eat, understanding a lot now.
Yeah.
Before I just like, oh, my fitness pal, I'm just putting it in. I'm like, man, protein is like fucking all the way here. You know what I mean? Like
no carbs.
Yeah, and then I'm like, okay, I'm eating all my calories, but there's like no carbs, there's no fat.
There's no
the protein is like fucking 300, something like way over. But I didn't. No one ever taught me that. Oh no, you have to eat within your protein, your fats, your carbs. Oh, okay.
I think there's been a really big misconception around like the whole dieting. Because like I've also tried the keto diet, and like during when I did all those like new resolution cuts, it's always about like the fad diets or keto, and like the idea was, oh, you know, if I eat less. Like, and when I say less, it's like no carbs, less fats, just protein. Same.
Yeah, right.
Much.
Yeah, and you fucking constipate as.
Yeah.
No fiber.
And like now switching to, I guess, what you've taught us, it's like we're still full. We're eating heaps more than what we would imagine, what our mind would be, but we're actually losing weight, and like we can see each week we're actually losing this much consistently.
Calculated,
which is crazy because you know we've spoken to a few friends and you know. Quite a few of them have said, oh, you know, we're going to have, you know, like a salad during lunch, an egg for breakfast, and that's it. And we're like, the fuck?
I'm like,
what?
But how many calories? And
they won't know.
Our friend said, well, we had this conversation last week, and she said 600 calories.
And we're like, the whole day, 600. We're like,
how you die,
bro?
That's what I have in a meal. Like 1 meal.
And like, and we get with guys, but still, you're eating way too low. You know what I mean? Way too low. But yeah, for them that's for girls.
Mindset.
Yeah, for girls it's like, oh, we don't want to eat too much.
I think for a lot of girls, that the mindset is like, obviously, this is a story that was interesting when Mishi, obviously, before she met me, her concept of dieting was this: one food diets or one meal diets or all these kind of intermittent fasting and stuff. All of these diets, in the end of the day, go down to the same theory, just calories. Calories. We can break down those calories into even bigger, like a deeper knowledge by doing macros and micros, which is obviously if you have a goal like building muscle and stuff like that. But in general, when we're talking about fat loss and stuff like that, how much goes in versus how much goes out is really just the difference. You just have to consume less than you use. And that's how you lose fat, right? But a lot of girls will, because they're not wanting to go for a longer diet. They want a 10-week, 8-week, you know, like quick result like that. So what they're going to do is they're going to just dramatically cut down their calories to the point that their body functions off that low calories. So your body gets used to it. Our body's very, very like smart in the way. It's like, all right, well, you're not giving me a lot of food. My output is just going to be that much. So then they'll jump onto like their normal calories, like, you know, a few weeks later, and then they'll obviously put on a little bit of water, all this kind of stuff. Their weight will jump and they'll be like, oh my God, I have to do this again. Do it another few months later. And they'll just keep cutting their calories down to the point where their body can function off an egg or a yogurt. That's all they need, right?
Yeah.
That vicious cycle is just ruining more and more and more their metabolism and all the way that they process food and their relationship with food. So eating less, ultimately, the answer is yes, you need to eat obviously less than what you're consuming to lose weight, but there is a way about it. Yeah. You know, just because you know how to drive a car doesn't mean you should be hitting 140 and driving a manual car just because you've got a license. You get what I mean? Yeah. There's courses and there's ways to go about it so you can effectively do this, because in the end of the day, you don't want to be dieting until you're 60, man. You want to get to a point where you're happy with a certain weight and a certain way you look and just be able to maintain that. But how do you do it? You don't just constantly go through diets and diets and diets. You just got to understand where you sit.
Yeah, because I was trying to explain to her about the like metabolism, right? Because you got to keep your metabolism running.
What do you get?
Yeah, I mean,
Can you shed some light on that, like in terms of, you know, how does it work in terms of?
Let's think of it as an iPhone.
Yep.
The way we charge an iPhone, right? You know, obviously there's ways to optimize the battery life of an iPhone. So that battery life, or the, you know, not the 100% or whatever, how long it stays within alive of a phone, the way you treat your phone will ultimately run that battery longer or less. It's the same as your metabolism, right? If you fuel it the right way and you don't wait until it becomes completely empty and you let it die, your metabolism or the battery will last a lot longer. Okay, you'll be able to efficiently use your phone a lot longer without the phone dying, which is pretty much your body. Okay, but if you keep waiting until it goes all the way down and only charge it 10%, bring it back out, only charge it 10%, and you keep expecting the phone to last like it did in the beginning, it's not going to work that way, right? It's the same thing. You need to be managing, you need to allow your body to move and efficiently use the food in copious amounts or amounts that is going to maintain your weight or a healthy figure so that your body recognizes that's what it needs. Your metabolism adapts very quickly to these low calories or these fad diets or not moving around. Just simple changes like that can change your metabolism and keep it at a healthy rate.
Yeah, because my metaphor with the metabolism is think of your metabolism as a train, right? And wood is your energy, your food. And let's say for you, because you're burning, right? So you need to put food in to run your metabolism, right? To run your body. If you put small, like in like certain portions size in, it burns quick and you're running fast. But if you put a massive fucking log into the fire is gonna takes ages for it to burn. So then now the fires will get smaller and smaller. Your metabolism is getting slower because you can't burn so much food in one go. That's why with people eat, splitting up like eating the meals, small meals. If you have like these small portions throughout the day, you just gotta keep it running.
And most of the time, if you don't allow that train, like you said, or the battery to like use it efficiently, most of the time that wood is going to go to waste. You're not actually going to burn it. It's going to store up. It's going to become charcoal. It's going to become something else that doesn't actually be used by the train. So you need to be allowing the train or the engine or the battery or metabolism, whatever it is in your body, you need to teach it and you need to fuel it efficiently for it to be able to use everything you're doing.
Can we ask, obviously dieting is one big aspect of your metabolism.
Yes.
Is there other ways to also increase your metabolism?
Yeah. So if we think of metabolism as our engine in our body to use the food or whatever fuels that's coming in, you can do certain things. Like you said, if it's a train, okay, you can, for example, make it go at a higher speed or longer distance. Okay, so you use it more. So you use the food more by how? Just more activity. A lot of the females, that struggle to lose weight or guys who struggle to have very sedentary type of jobs. They're sitting 8 hours, 10 hours a day. Then they come home and they'll sit another 5 hours of the day. If you really track how many steps you're doing, and I'm not even talking about cardio, like go for a run, go for a bike. If you just think about how much I've walked today, a lot of people are stuck at like 1,000 or 2,000 steps, which is really not enough. Really not enough to keep yourself healthy, because a lot of people think that a lot of the calories that's burnt in our body is like exercise, like weight training, like F45, all this kind of stuff. Exercise really burns not a lot of our actual calories in our day. It's only like maybe
tracked it on the watch before. It's only like 300-400.
If you go for a run, you might burn off a bowl of rice, maybe. Like it's terrible. It's like 10% of your day can only be taken out by strenuous, high-level exercising. Okay, we don't do weight training to burn calories. We're doing it for a different purpose, right? A lot of the times, our calories actually burn through our actual bodily functions to keep us alive. Our heart, our digestion in our gut, all this kind of stuff. So the actual bodily functions is what takes up a priority of the burning of the calories. But how do we make our body function more? We do things that make us actually have to do, like use our body. Like, going for a walk or steps like this. Not active cardio for like 20 minutes in the day. Just all day trying to make yourself a little bit active or do more activity will burn a lot more calories. Hence, that's another way you can increase your output or, metabolism, like the tie-in together, right? Another way is building more muscle.
Because the bigger muscle it is, the more fuel you want.
Exactly. So obviously, it's going to take me a lot more energy to move my body than a person's 50 kilos, right? But I'm a heavier person with more muscle. It takes a lot more fuel to move my engine than somebody who's a lot smaller. So by building more muscle, you'll also be using a lot more energy with the food. So people who are generally bigger need more food. Yep.
Makes sense.
Here's another one for the girls. I don't want to do weights because it's gonna make me really bulky.
I'm gonna be too massive.
I'm gonna be like, oh my god, shut the fuck up. Like, because they always look at these like bodybuilder girls,
they look
right?
always
and like,
voided up bodybuilders.
And like, bro, I always say to them, like, you would never become like them. Like, I just have to shut them down because, like, how much you have to lift to become like them. Like,
how much discipline?
You have discipline. How much like you have to diet and like train or even take a lot of supplements to become like them. Like, trust me, you can do weights. You won't get chunky or anything. You know what I mean? Like, we actually tone you down. But they're just like, no, I don't want big shoulders. Like,
and they'll go for a pump. So another big misconception misconception with, and I'm going to say this for women and men, because there are a lot of men nowadays who will come to me when I'm doing consults, and I'll actually turn them away because they say, I don't want to be too muscly. And I'm like, define too muscly. And then a lot of times, like, they'll give me a photo of someone who's just decently jacked up, and they'll be like, this guy's just too muscly. It's not going to work with the type of clothing I wear. And I said, all right, cool. The photo that you've just sent me is a 6-time Olympian. He's won the Arnold Classic about 4 times. I am not that muscly. Okay. So a big session is when you go back into weights, men, folks, everyone, okay? Initially, you are going to feel a little bit jacked or muscly. Do you know why? Because you didn't use those muscles for 20, 10 years, 5 years, or 6 years. So obviously, the first few weeks or maybe a month or 2 of weight training, you're gonna feel a little bit bigger because it's actually being used for the first time. You're not actually gaining more muscle in that time. It's just actually being used. So you're actually just cramping up a little bit and the food is getting absorbed into the muscle. It's waking up. You wait that period and you just continue on, you will actually look slimmer by the end of it because everything will start to turn up. Think of the fat and the skin on our body as like a tent drape, all right? You need the underneath poles and everything to be nice and sturdy to make everything stretch out and look nice and toned, right? But if you leave it, if you have a foundation that's weak, the blanket and everything is just going to crumple up and look wrinkly and flabby. Makes sense, right? Yeah, right? Yeah, that's how it works. So don't be afraid because trust me, I've worked out for 10, 15 years just to get to this size. I'm not happy, right? And I go in there 5 times a week, 2 hours. You know what I do, guys? It's a lot of work. The amount of training that you put in and the amount of passion that you will put in will only give you maybe 50% of the results that you're actually looking for if you're doing it naturally. So do not be afraid. Actually go work out and see what you can achieve because the photos that you guys are showing me, you know, when you come with a consult, those people have trained for 20 years to get to that level. And they're in there every day tracking every gram of their food. It's not going to happen. So like you said, big conception of weight training is you're going to get too bulky too quick. If you do get too muscly too quick, I suggest you change your job and become a professional bodybuilder because you will make a lot of money. You know what I mean? Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of common myths about this.
It's interesting.
Just understanding food and whatnot.
Do you want to tell the audience your origin story?
Oh, yeah, right. I guess, like, look, I'll keep it nice and simple just because we've got a lot to talk about today. I started off similar to Mikey. Not similar to Mikey. I was a fat kid from, like, youth. Like, family-owned restaurants. So like I was just eating restaurant food all the time. My grandma loved me because I was like the first son in generation. So like I was having mud cakes. I was having like whatever I wanted to eat. So I got to the point where I actually was diagnosed with like pediatric diabetes. Like I was that bad. Like, you know, I had to cut.
What's pediatric?
So it's like your sugar levels and your glucose levels are not. I couldn't digest my food normally. I was diabetic as a child type thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
How old were you?
I was like 10, maybe like, you know,
before
then. So like really bad, high sugar, high processed food type of diet. Didn't think that was a bad thing because I was young. I just accepted that I was the chunky fat kid that was walking around the streets. Like, you know, there was no Instagram, YouTube to tell me that this was wrong. Went through, my parents started to go like, this is a bit concerning. Your health is concerning. So they chucked me in, as every Korean parent does, into a martial arts thing. Bang! I remember still, my coach was Caucasian. And I was like, is this right? And like, he's speaking Korean words, but it doesn't sound right. Yeah, so really? He was teaching Korean, did that. And I was, like, you can't imagine this now, but I would go to the toilet and pretend I was sick to not go to class.
Wow.
Hated it. You know, you're a fat kid. You've been fat for 10 years of your life. You don't want to, you never run, you know, you never did anything. Vomited in class, hated it, would fucking chuck a tantrum not to do anything to get out of class. And then I started to get picked on at school. So we finally got to the point where now the kids started to notice what fat and wasn't, right? Bullying, racism, all of that. Took my training a little bit seriously. And then obviously don't do this at school, but I utilized the training to get me out of these picky, sticky situations. Then kind of started to twist a little bit. I was like, all right, well, maybe I have a knack for this. So I started competing as a martial artist. And then I got a lot healthier. Obviously, like, competed until, I'm going to say I still competed until about 23, all right, on and off. But had a very, very big injury during one of my more major competitions. 2 reconstructions on my shoulder. Damn. And I tore my hamstring. So I started to do the gym as a rehab mechanism to start building the muscles back up. Because after my surgery, I couldn't lift this arm beyond this. So all the muscle here was gone on the right side. Still, my right side is a bit weaker than my left. Kept going doing that, started falling for a passion. And like you said, started getting, I'm like friendly in the gym too, started talking to some like bodybuilders. But back then, natural bodybuilding was not really a thing. Everyone who was competing was enhanced. Yeah. So I never really dreamt of being a bodybuilder because I was like, I don't really want to take steroids. So I never really had a dream for it. One day, got in touch with into an environment with my now coach, and he introduced me to natural bodybuilding. And obviously that's where now I've been competing, still competing as part of the teams. And like yesterday, actually, shout out to Kenny, one of the best coaches, I reckon, in Queensland, in Australia, in the world, who hosted he was the promoter for AMB, Queensland, all right, a bodybuilding natural fed, all right, AMB, check it out. And they did their first show yesterday in Queensland in a long time. Wow. It was a full house. Great, loved it. And I'll be competing for them next season as well.
Oh yeah.
So I've gone through quite a bit of a journey with the fitness as well. Been in it for a long time, but completely flipped. I was martial artist, nowhere near weights, and then fully flipped around.
Yeah, interesting. Can we? Sorry, just bit of a more maybe mental health. How was your self-image of back then compared to now, or like the thought process around that? Like, if you don't mind sharing.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, completely honest, I think the little fat kid still lives in me. There is a part of me where the trauma.
Yeah, that's me as well.
And unless I'm really, really in a great good mood, or I am shredded down to the bone, I don't still feel comfortable taking my shirt off. Do you get me?
What?
Hear me out.
Shut the fuck up.
Hear me out.
If you know Dennis.
Let me
cook. And that's why I gave you the 2 conditions. Like, obviously when I'm in a rave and I feel safe and I'm with all the boys and I usually won't be the first one to take my shirt off. It'll always be like Jason. Somebody will take it off and then I will start egging on because I know that for me, taking the shirt off is such a hard thing. When somebody does it, I'm like, all right, I'm going to commit, do it. But then I want everybody else to do it. I want everybody else to feel this love. And that's why you'll see me egging everyone to take their shirts off. That's why I do it. I don't just take it off because it's hot. I'm like, I need to face this trauma. I need to actually mentally go. But that's why I usually can't do it by myself.
That's interesting.
I'll need somebody else to do it.
Yep.
Then when I do it, I'm like, if I can do it, y'all can do it.
We're in it as a team.
Yeah, we're in a team.
Yeah, you can do it because there's a fucking 6-pack. And it's fucking shredded ass.
I think what he's trying to say is there's still that kid that lives in me.
There's still that kid lives in me. And I'm competing, pretty high levels of bodybuilding and I'm still the fat kid lives in me.
It's almost like a double-edged sword because part of that fat kid in you has almost made you train so hard.
He's driven me to where I am now, yeah.
But there's also that, in some ways that kid holds you back in terms of how you feel about yourself.
Exactly. So a lot of the times, I'm working on this, I will not self-validate myself and my progress.
Yeah.
I will have to have, and this is why I find it's really important to have a good coach or good friends or a good gym bro or, or your partner to actually convince you that the work you're doing is worth it and you're changing. Do you get me? Taking records during a fitness journey, whether it be, girls, boys, or anyone, please do it. You don't have to share it with anyone, but sometimes you forget how
far you've come.
Yeah, how far you've come.
Yeah. Even when I look back now, I'm just like, fuck.
You think it's like, oh man, I still don't look great now is what you feel. Then you look back and you go, oh my God.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I look back, I thought I was so fat. And then now I'm looking back, I'm like, fuck, I was skinny ass. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, I was wearing medium. It
can be positives. It will drive you to get back on track, but it'll also sometimes do the opposite. It will remind you're doing really well. So yeah, that's really nice. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing that. Because I feel like that's something a lot of people can relate to. A lot of people have that self-body image of what they used to be or what they were or when they were comfortable versus after they've done a bit of training,
Yeah.
and there's progress, and they can see it, and so, but you know, you still battle with that self-image, right?
The image.
Yeah.
Like the
yeah.
trauma's still there. You never really validate yourself. And like sometimes I'm really jealous of people who are like super confident in the gym. Like obviously a very big culture of the gym is selfies. You know, it's just
Get to that. Yeah, yeah.
you know, you like I see these kids like in front of the mirror like half an hour, I reckon. Like I'm like
Half an hour.
I've like gone and done a few sets and I gotta go take a whiz and I'm like in the gym. I'm like, where did you hear like half an hour ago? And they're like, you know, they're like in their mind, they're Chris Bumstead, you know, they're Arnold. They're like real going, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love that culture. I wish that they had that confidence in them. Okay, and I'm like, man, I wish I could, you know, just take it off in the middle of like of this bathroom and start taking like photos. But I'm like, I ain't taking this off until I get home. I'm checking this pump when I get home in my own space, in my own bathroom. So it's really, it's fascinating because like I think a lot of it is just mental. It's how you see your body.
Yeah, correct.
How you feel about yourself.
How you feel your body. And I'm still working on it, but I try to tell like you guys and anybody who's not like happy with their body, yes, drive for change, but don't drive for change because you hate what you see. Do you get me? Drive for change to be better, but don't hate what you've got. You know, still love what you got because, you know, most of the time you really are over-exaggerating how bad it is.
So be kind to yourself, but also, you know, be proud of how far you've come.
Of course.
Yeah.
And drive for change for positive reasons.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of selfies, what's your thoughts on... There's selfies where you're tracking progress.
Okay.
And there's selfies where you're doing it to be an influencer or like you post on Instagram or whatever.
Did it happen? Did you actually work out?
Yeah.
If you didn't post about it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this.
Yeah. Because me personally, I don't take photos. Like
You barely-
even progress photos, I don't really care.
You do it because I tell you to.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But-
that's it, right? I never post. He's always like, post on IG, post on IG. Like,
He does. I hate it. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I know, 'cause
I just like to work in silence, to be honest with it.
Yeah.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
Okay. He's calling me out, but I'm going to call him out. He's put it on Snapchat, but he won't put it on Instagram.
Yeah, it's just for my friends to
That's
see.
contradictory.
Yeah, that's contradictory.
No.
That's double standard.
That's double standard, bro.
I just want maybe a certain amount of people to see, like, you know, like
Okay.
in the gym.
All the
I don't want
girls.
fucking like.
Girls.
Don't for the girls.
Check my Snapchat.
That's just for the bros.
Yeah, it's all the boys like, yeah, and then like it's always like,
Yeah.
put on Instagram, please. I'm like,
It's because I'm proud. It's because I'm proud. Yeah.
100%.
Like that, and I get it, and I want to promote, you know, the result that he's giving me as well.
Well, let's talk about like, okay, so what do we think is like, okay, this is productive type of like in the gym.
Yeah.
In the gym.
Yeah.
Versus, is it too much? Personally for me, tripods, all this kind of stuff, too much. Unless you're in a specialized gym that's like for powerlifting and you need to check your form, or you've got to send maybe a set or two to your coach, yes. But if you're standing there, you got a mic, it's on there, and you're talking into the camera while you're doing the set, I think maybe too much.
What if they're like fitness influencers doing like content?
I probably would have seen them on my Instagram though. No, but if they're doing it with like a coach, like if it's like part of management or, you know, like there's a team going on or there's something there, sure. But I think like if you're staying there and you're disrupting everyone else, it gets a bit of a problem. Like for example, I need to use this machine and you've been here retaking this video for half an hour. Get the fuck off.
Oh, it's not as bad as the ones that just sits on the fucking phone.
Oh man.
Oh,
Like
pet
the
peeves?
whole fucking.
Pet
Are we going there? Are we going there?
Oh my god, man! I fucking hate it, man. Sometimes I'm working out.
Yeah.
Finish like three, four workout. That guy's still like sitting there on his phone. I'm like, get the fuck
Pet
out.
peeves, let's go there. Let's go there.
Oh,
Okay, mine is this. Give me something worse. Okay? The high school kids who come in packs of 6, have this weird ass perm, I don't know what it is, and they're in like, it's like fuzzy hair.
Yeah.
And they're in like a compression, like, you know, Under Armour or something really tight.
Yeah.
They got the sweat tracks on and they've got Crocs. And they're all bench press on the same bench.
And
It's like an
scrawny as too.
yeah, and and it's like it's an orgy on the bench. Like they will not leave that bench for about 40 minutes, and they talk and talk.
They talk,
and talk.
yeah.
Give me something worse than that.
No, I think I hate seeing that. It happens a lot.
It happens a lot.
It happens a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I see that as well. But I think what annoys me the most is them just sitting there on the phone.
As the person who's on the phone?
Yeah.
It's quite equal in some ways because they're both just wasting time.
They're just wasting
Yeah,
time.
and I'm like, sometimes like I'm not even going to use that machine yet, but I'm planning to use it, right?
Yeah.
And in the next 2 workouts, I'm gonna be over there, so I'm already walking over. I'm like,
need to be
hey
done.
man, how many sets do you have left? He's like, oh yeah, 2 more. I'm like, all right, cool,
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
All right, cool, man. Take your time. Take your time.
I'm sorry,
And then I'll go work out my 2 workouts. Like finally come over. Hey, you done these? Oh yeah, just about finishing. I'm like, bro, get the fuck off your phone.
That's the worst if you've even asked them.
Yeah,
how
if
many
you've
sets
already
you've got.
asked.
Because usually
Yeah.
someone asks me, I'll like try to hurry it up a little
Try
bit.
to get it done.
You know,
No.
so taking whatever sufficient break I need, but
There's one guy, I'm an old gym, man, this Indian guy, fuck, pisses me off every time I see him.
oh wow.
Cause this is like,
that's
so I'll stand up for this one. Okay, he'll work out. Let's say he works out on the machine, and all of a sudden he'll sit down on the ground and put his feet up, and he's on his foot, like crouched down, like he's like chilling. Like I'm just like, so like yeah, because he was sit like this, like just
Yeah.
chilling on his phone, and I'm just like, so are you working out?
Or
what?
you, like-
Because like, so I come over, I'm like, are you still using the machine? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, fucking work out, because I haven't seen you work out for the last 15 minutes. Like, fuck, man, like, I get so fucking annoyed because I'm just trying to use that machine, you know?
So inconsiderate.
Yeah, so you can see.
I have a few, I'm not going to say the race, but they're on the...
Nah, say it. Nah, say it.
I'm sorry, but there's a few Chinese people in there, right?
Oh yeah, them fucking
Chinese.
Chinese.
Hey, that's me.
And they come in like they're in like some... They're not in gym
All
attire.
gear, no idea.
Yeah, but they come in and they're on the phone constantly.
Oh, my God.
Like they'll do a set and then they'll start speaking really loudly and then do a set and then just keep, but they have the FaceTime on.
Oh.
So they'll need to like put their phone down. I'm like, bro, like, is this a business meeting? Like, is this really important? Oh, oh my God.
Actually, last week I went in and some guy was on his phone doing a deal as his like lifting weights. But this is like, you know, this is a section where there's a row of like your seats, your benches,
yeah.
and this guy's just literally like he's pretty aggressive on the phone. It sounds like he's trying to close the deal, and this girl right next to him is just looking at him like,
the fuck?
"Ah, man, just go do it somewhere else, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to work out here."
I mean, it is a public gym and you are entitled to do whatever you can,
Yeah.
but there are, I think, things where it interrupts people.
Yeah.
Common courtesy.
Common courtesy.
Common courtesy, man.
Like, you wouldn't do that in a restaurant.
Question. We've worked at restaurants.
Yeah, okay,
That's
true.
the worst
But
that
like,
happens.
but that it's frowned upon in restaurants.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
should
yeah.
be frowned upon in
Yeah.
gyms. You know?
True.
Oh,
Fucking, those guys annoyed me.
okay. A question. All right. Since we're talking about this whole selfie thing, right? Would you rather be caught flexing like topless? Like, let's say you're a shy person who doesn't like taking selfies in the gym. All right. And you're like taking you're like mad pumped today. You're taking like a topless selfie in the bathroom, or accidentally farting during a squat, like a real like you've got your earphones on, like bam, bam.
I can answer this really well.
Okay.
I think I will take the selfie because you know you're in the bathroom, right?
Okay,
so it's
okay.
just guys.
Okay.
So I'm not. Like, I'm shy, but
Yeah, but-
at least whenever I'm taking a gym selfie, and usually the other guy will probably do the same.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
because sometimes I come in and so we're in the same mindset. Like, oh yeah, good work. Oh yeah, and
Okay.
I'm like, oh, dude,
Okay.
looking fucking huge.
Right,
Like,
okay, okay.
Yeah.
But man, I don't want to fucking rip a massive one, and there's like probably girls around. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I think it's a bit more embarrassing.
Okay.
I think one thing, same thing here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy to take a selfie because sometimes it could be for like productive reasons.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would hate to rip a fart and shit my pants as well. That's what scares me. That's what
Oh,
scares
that
me.
you might
Yeah.
So
accidentally.
sometimes you go to gym and you haven't
Shut
got one
yourself.
to let the kids out. You know,
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
And you might let a fart out. And you're like, oh, I don't know what I let out. It could be something else.
No.
I think I'll worry about that as well.
True.
You like hold your pants or no. It hasn't never happened, but again, same thing. People around, it's like you're kind of disturbing their workouts.
Yeah.
The smell could be really bad. Could be a silent one.
It could be a
a
deadly
wet
one.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it could just be a really loud one, like bam.
Yeah.
For yourself,
I think I'd rather have a loud one than silent one, to be honest.
I'm gonna be honest. I am that uncomfortable taking photos, like topless.
Fuck off.
okay.
Really?
Do you get me? Like
you had-
in a public space, like
Yeah,
I can't.
okay.
So I probably and this is the thing. I like hang out with a lot of powerlifters and like some heavy lifting kids, and fucking sometimes they'll do shit that's like powerlifters like in their competitions, like some chicks piss themselves during a lift.
Yeah, yes.
Because like
I've seen that. I've seen
they're
that,
putting so much pressure on
their
in the
body.
abdomen and stuff.
Yeah.
So I've like seen some like pretty nice. Like I've like fucking like I've had snot come down during a squat for me as well. Like
Yeah.
I've done some pretty disgusting things when I'm like lifting and I'm in the zone.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh yeah, I guess like if I'm doing a real heavy squat and I come up and like bam, I'm like, fuck, that was a good set.
Especially because you're in that culture. It's pretty normal.
For me, that's pretty norms. But
yeah.
but going in front of like a mirror at the gym and like taking a selfless photo, I'll be like, oh, not here.
Are we saying in front of like the whole gym or in the toilet?
Yeah, you just said toilet before.
Yeah, no, but still toilet because I don't like when someone walks in and I'm taking like a pump pic. If someone walks in, I'm like, done. Get out.
Get out. Yeah.
It was like,
so I guess like fighting is probably like the least of your concerns, really.
I'm like, fuck, it's a leg day,
You downplayed that heaps, man.
Yeah, man.
oh.
It's like, if people are pissing during a fucking PR, then I'm fucking fighting.
Let's do it. All right. Since we're doing since we're doing would you rather? Would you rather have arms of a god,
like Thor arms?
Yep. But have chicken legs, or would you have solid, like really good looking
thunder thighs,
and have no chest?
Like a mid ass.
So you're small on top, big on the bottom,
or big top, small bottom.
This is like the role reversal of like boobs or ass.
Yeah, it's like it's like the man versus boobs or ass.
Man, this is a tough one because this is basically going for appearance. Then you know what I mean, because with with people probably just look at the guy. Oh man, this guy's buff, but he's just wearing pants all the time. So you can't really see.
Oh.
You know, you can kind of hide your legs away in a way. So just like because he looks good. Like look at him, he looks massive. Yeah. But for a gym perspective is like you know what I mean, like
shit legs.
Yeah, shit legs. So
it's this. Would you rather kind of like be like shunned by the girls, or would you be shunned by the boys? Do you know what I mean?
Man, that's tough. I always had legs.
You've been blessed with legs.
Yeah, I always had legs.
Fucking thunder thigh.
So
so jealous, man.
Thunder thigh.
Must be nice.
Man, that's a tough one. I think I think I'll just go big
top.
Big on top. Because you look big.
Aesthetically.
You can't cover downstairs, you can't cover upstairs.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, if you wear a baggy shirt, it's gonna make me more fucking small. Yeah.
Dennis?
See, this is a hard one for me. I think that is my answer if I wasn't in the category I am. So I compete in men's physique, and men's physique people get shit on for having small legs.
Yes.
Like that is our one fucking ankle thing, right?
You don't have that problem though.
So when we go up there and we don't fill out our shorts, they go, oh, of course, men's physique have small legs. So there is a part of me that only works our legs solely to shut these people up.
Yeah.
It's not like I want big legs. I'm just like, well, now you have nothing to say to me.
Yeah.
So, but I think if we're looking purely from an aesthetic point of view, I would want nice arms. Compared to nice legs. Because you never have a chick come up to you and be like, oh, nice legs, bro.
Oh my god, nice calves.
Oh my god, crush me with your legs. Yeah. That's a guy thing. Guy thing.
Is that Johnny?
You want to be?
I've always had chicken legs. So I'm gonna just stay that way. I'm gonna just stay that way. So
I have a question. So, because there's no girls here, and please comment on the below. What body part do you think that chicks actually find really attractive? Because there's this whole dad bod.
So what we think girls.
Yeah, okay, right.
What we think girls think.
What we think girls like.
Because I won't call bullshit this dad bod thing, right?
I think a chick likes abs. I've never seen a chick say no to abs, man.
Yeah, I won't call bullshit with dad bod because, like, not gonna lie, I have the perfect dad bod.
And
no fucking girl ever
big arms, nice shoulders.
Dad bod's like your like kind of skinny top with the belly, right? Like
so I feel like the concept of our dad bod is very different from what chicks think dad bods are.
Yeah, because there's always like I see online, which one you pick? The fucking like the one the god fucking physique or the dad bod? They're like, dad bod. I'm like, that's bullshit, man. I haven't seen any other girl come up to me.
Calling you out.
I haven't seen any girl come to me because like I think I have a dad bod. I have a belly, a small belly, and I kind of like work out.
Yeah.
So like in between, I love to work out, but I love to eat. So
you won't say no to a cookie, but you will go work out 5 times a week.
And like
that's what a dad bod is.
But I've called bullshit in that one.
But then I feel
you okay, man?
That was a lot of rage.
Damn, he let it out.
But let's say besides abs, because I call bullshit because I feel like the perspective of a dad bod for not guys but for girls is like an off-season bodybuilder. Like they put on a little bit of tubs because they're on a bulk, but they've got fucking like big ass shoulders and but like they've got like like a glisten of an ab underneath, but it's not like striating like dick pointers. I feel like that's not a dad bod. That's just an off-season bodybuilder. Yeah. But besides that, what do you reckon? Or what have you personally experienced that girls like?
And based on the conversations I've had, because this question gets asked quite
quite a lot. Yeah.
I think a good chest is.
Ooh, a nice chesticle. Yep.
Like I think. I used to think, abs is everything. So I just want a six-pack, regardless of how my chest or arms are.
The old school Ryan Higa.
Yeah.
just ab.
Yeah, but I think
nowadays
a bit more conversation around, with friends and stuff. They're like, we prefer a good chest and abs. Well, as in, like, if they had to choose one, they prefer chest or arms over abs, right? I mean, this is what I've learned over the years of conversing, but
because I hear of some guys having like the arms and shoulders.
Yeah,
because shoulders like looks big build, looks nice, and arms for them to hold on to.
Feel like
the chest is good to cuddle, put the head into
like a nice head pillow,
good cleavage,
chesticles. Funny enough, for a lot of Koreans, because like they, like you said, it's a very popular question. They love a wide back and shoulders.
Oh,
so I actually have found, interesting enough, I feel like the Asian, not ABGs, Australian-born girls. ABGs.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
Right. Prefer thicker bodies. They like the gym culture.
Yep.
They like when a guy's got like a nice chest, big back, big arms, big shoulders. Whereas, not so much in the, I reckon, more straight off the boat from Asian culture. They don't prefer that burly.
They like the skinny.
They like the skinny but wide.
Yes, they like the skinny fit.
Skinny and tall.
Yeah, they like they like the gorgeal. They like so if you had to choose, like for example, I reckon Australian-born or American-born, Canada-born, Off-Sea Asians would like the toji. Like a toji physique, something a bit fizzy.
Yeah.
But the fonts like Gojo.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing. Like I like my girls a bit like thicker. Yeah, I like a thicker.
I like to say thicker.
I don't think it's a thick, alright? But yeah, you know what I mean? Like when I see those like Asian girls like skinny abs, man, it's like, to be honest, it's like that doesn't turn me on. Like I don't find them like attractive because I like my girls a bit thicker. You know what I mean? Like a bit more muscle, or I mean, a little chubby, that's fine. You know what I mean? Yeah, just I think I find it more attractive that way.
I find that so interesting because like your Australian-born or like American-born, they seem to gym a lot and like they have that dump truck, those curves,
Yeah.
Whereas like the ones from fresh out of the boat, they love just
skinny.
I remember my ex was like, I want my skinny thighs, and I'm like,
they want to see a rib cage, like
like I think that's attractive.
Big thing. Do not blame genetics. Yes, there is a part of genetics. Okay,
that's gonna open a can of worms, bro.
I'm gonna. Bottom line, yes, genetics has a play on things, but. Genetically, nothing changed when we came to Australia. The girls who got thicker here, nothing changed genetically. They worked for it. Do you know what I mean? Do not say you can't build an ass. You can. You're just not eating enough, and you're not training hard enough.
Yeah. But what would you guys like love about favorite body part of a girl?
Oh,
because man, I love a girl that has a nice back.
Ooh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, man, because
like slight definition in the back.
Oh man, I find it so attractive. Yeah, because sometimes I see a few girls working in the back, and I'm looking over, or I see some girls with a nice back. Oh my god, that's actually so sexy, man. They have a nice back,
like a nice little taper,
like slightly toneness.
Yeah, it actually looks so good. Like I'm not gonna lie, like girls with a nice back, of course, a nice ass.
I'm not gonna lie. I legit thought he was gonna come out with I want a girl with a big ass.
Yeah, you're so shocked with it.
Man, I was like, ooh,
are you ready for this conversation? Yeah. I'm not.
No, but yeah, ass, of course. But like, nice back. Okay. Man, girls with nice back, so fucking nice.
I know, that is actually a very nice one.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, man.
Ass.
I like him with the beautiful smile.
Because that's what they train in the gym, right?
You know what? I don't know how you actually...
Why are your hands here, bro?
No. Okay. I love good titties. When I find maybe girls who do Pilates have this like, not six-pack.
11s. They call them 11s.
The line down here.
Because it looks like 11s. It's just two lines.
Two lines that come down here.
There's no six-pack.
It's flat. You just know they're fit and they have a good core.
Yeah.
But it's like the definition of it.
You can see the outline of the ab, but you don't see the six in it.
I don't like the six, but like it's like almost a very thin.
It's like two pillars. It's just like two pillars. That's why they call it 11s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I find it kind of attractive, because they work out and
Dennis?
I love it when on the thighs, right? Not like the quad definition here.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like when they've got like a slight line when they walk, like just ever so slightly definition on the quad where it separates.
It's
from
like
the
right there, like
yeah, just when the hamstring and
probably a bad example.
Yeah.
Can someone else show this?
like there,
Like there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ever
You know
so
that
slightly.
workout. Hey,
You know that they're like working legs and
Yeah.
not just ass. But if they have that, they'll have an ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like a quad bang bang definition. It's like as they walk, it's not one leg. It's like the hamstring and the quad's slight definition. And you're like, she squats. She
Yeah.
squats very nicely.
Yeah, no.
sorry, I just saw something really funny.
Dirty.
Obviously, kind of.
Alright.
I mean, I love a girl who trains, but is there a point where like they're too muscly? Because, like, I don't. This is probably personal taste, right?
Okay.
But
It's just personal taste.
I remember when I was young and I was in the club and stuff. You start doing your thing,
Yeah.
and me, I love dancing, bit of grinding,
Yeah.
pump and grind,
Yeah.
And I remember dancing with this girl, and like, man, she was fit, but I was grinding up on a fucking rock, bro. Like, it was
Why so hard?
Whoa! It was hard, man. I didn't want her to be hard.
So can a girl demasculate a man by being too jacked? Is that what you're asking?
It is a bit demasculating, right? I don't know. Like, is it like at what point is it too? I don't know. I
think-
I respect the game, of course.
I have a legitimate fear that, like, because girls solely train leg. Like, they don't do a lot of upper body. If one day Misha like out squats me, I'm like, oh my god, I need to stop.
Yeah.
I need to like put on a terrible program just to put a break down. But I'm surrounded by a lot of bodybuilders.
yeah, you
So
can-
I don't think and plus I really doubt that they're gonna out muscle me. So there's not that. But I have seen some roided ladies.
Yeah,
I've seen
okay,
some
that makes sense,
roided
'cause
ladies,
it's not
right?
just for guys. Yeah.
Those are a bit scary.
Because they're
Oh.
everything is. Yeah.
Like they have chest and not boobs. Like they have chest.
Wow.
So that's scary, right?
Oh, that to me is a bit like when it starts becoming a male body, it gets a bit scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think to answer that question is definitely personal preference.
It is.
And it's more of like if they're outdoing you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because
They're
like
fitter than me.
yeah, because like I remember my friend showed me a few girls,
Yeah.
and then I was just like, oh wow, like she's super fit, like she's like pretty strong, like
Yeah,
fit. And then like she's like, oh yeah, but yeah, a lot of guys don't like it. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, because a lot of like her guy friends is like saying that, like, oh nah, she's too big, blah blah. I'm like, nah, she's fucking like she's
It is a
great.
personal preference.
Like, you know what I
It
mean?
is, it is.
It's just because those guys are smaller than her, like they're skinny.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So they feel weak or
True.
whatever. And for me, I'm looking at her, I'm like, nah, I think she looks great. Like, she looks
Yeah.
strong. Like,
So you're
yeah.
saying that we're living in a world now where we could be out muscled?
Yeah, probably.
culture's so big for
it is,
girls
it
now,
is,
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jim
yeah.
being
Because you know how before it was the question for the girls: when is a guy too muscly?
yeah,
They'll be like, oh, it's like a cloud.
Yeah.
You know how that question used to be asked?
Yeah.
Now we're asking the opposite question.
Yeah.
When can a girl be too jacked?
Could you do a girl with six pack?
I could.
yeah. Well, yeah, I'm
I mean,
happy.
I look at Kitty athletes
I have a
fucking
keg, but if she has a a six pack, oh, that's great. But if she's okay with my keg,
I can do a six pack.
Yeah.
I can do. I don't think I can do the ones where they've got like a actual chest.
Yes, yeah.
there's like the
Like, when we touch it, it's just hard.
I'm just like, babe, wait.
Break your finger.
I'm like, wait. Oh my god, yours is better than mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if she's more jacked than me, then yeah. If she's fitter, then I think that's fine.
Yeah, I think fitness is fine,
if
yeah.
I
she's
think
more
I am
jacked than me-
referencing like, have you seen those influencers where they literally got like shoulder boulders and like everything is
True.
super jacked.
Yeah.
I think if it's like I'm okay up to the point of like an IFBB level bikini
Yeah,
athlete where they've got nice definition shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I am still fine. 100%.
I think I have to,
Yeah,
I have to
same.
show you a photo. I think
Yeah.
there's ones where like they take off the jacket and like from the outside with the jacket on.
Is this those ones here where she's got like a real baby face and then
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
No, I can't do that.
Nothing
man.
of those.
No, she has a dude
Sorry,
body.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
referencing.
that's a dude body.
That's a
That's
dude
what I'm saying.
body.
When it becomes
Yeah.
a dude
That's
body,
what I'm
we're kind of,
referencing.
oh
yeah,
no.
Because I'm thinking like, oh man, like that's, I don't know, man. Like,
No, I cannot.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I think
sorry,
that's that is pretty muscly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when
That
you
is
take the jacket, you're like, oh my god!
No.
Because she lost like all feminine, like
Yeah.
She's now become a man.
band.
That's like more testosterone.
That's a lot of that's a lot of roids there. Yeah.
That's a bit much. But I think we should start.
questions?
Yeah, we should. A couple of weeks ago we posted on.
Yes, about 2 weeks ago
Two
on
weeks
our
ago?
story for
Yep.
Instagram. We actually got a lot of questions, so we can't do all of them. But our question maker here will
Let's
randomly
that's real.
select some questions.
All right.
Some good ones.
Do we say from who or like?
No.
Anonymous.
keep it on.
Yeah, keep it low key. Yeah,
Sorry.
keep it low key.
So this one says best piece of advice for someone who's switching gym training, swimming to hypertrophy.
What? Say that again.
So like, best piece of advice for someone who's switching gym training, swim to hypertrophy. I think that's what.
Oh, okay.
Like that's an example.
Okay, switch. Okay, I think the question's more asking like, how do they balance or change over for when they're doing like a high intense swimming, running,
Yeah.
type of thing and balance
Like just gym training to
cardio, bit of like
Yeah.
a hybrid athlete.
Yes,
Yeah,
hybrid athlete.
it's just because like
Gen Z.
now because like I want to because I stopped running because
Yes.
I'm doing a lot of steps now, and losing all this weight that I'm losing and I haven't fucking ran like before running like 5, 10 Ks. We were running 20 Ks a week. You know what I mean? I was feeling fit. I lost weight, but now when I'm on I'm on tennis program. I'm not fucking running. I'm still losing weight.
He's just walking.
Yeah, I'm just walking. Yeah, I'm just walking. So yeah, I do want to program I do want to start running again sometime, or I do
Yes.
want to do more those active activities again. But then I'm worried about feeling too hungry. Is that
Because there's more energy.
Yeah, explain. Like I'm not sure.
I obviously look if you're doing these like long or high intensity type of like cardio trainings. Okay, like especially if you're running long distance or doing a lot of swimming training, your demand for food is going to go up. Okay, so yes, you should modulate yourself to eat more if you are consistently training like this. If you're just doing like one swimming session a week or just like running once a week and you're just doing a 5K run, probably don't change anything up. Just use that one day of swimming or one day of running as your active recovery day. So do it on a day you don't do weights. So it doesn't affect your weight training. But if you're doing a lot of this, half of it the training is this and half of it's weight training, you're probably needing more food than the average bodybuilder gym type of training because your demand for food is higher. That's probably my best advice, but do not expect to get massive gains or like a big difference in your body change by doing this training and weight training together because you're not committing to one. Okay, your body will improve, but if you're looking to aesthetically build like a bodybuilder, like hypertrophy training, where we're talking about like the influencers, bodybuilding in that genre, you can't really be doing all of this because your body doesn't have enough time to rest. Okay? If your aim is to aesthetically build certain areas of your body, you need to commit to the weightlifting as your priority and the cardio is an accessory. But if you're doing half and half, you will improve your physique a lot because you'll see a lot of the hybrid athletes, they're jacked, but they're not jacked like a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
They look a lot leaner, fitter, not so much bigger, fitter. Do you get what I mean? So that's probably my big advice if you're going to be trying to switch up those forms of training.
Cool.
Cool. Good to know. Good to know.
Nice. Next one.
All right. So we got a really interesting question here. Does jerking off before the gym affect my strength? Whose smart idea was to ask that, huh?
All right, personal experience. So shall we experiment once? Before we do a boys session, we'll go jerk off together, and then we'll go and try and see.
We need trial and error this time.
Yeah, because there's that myth where with fighters or boxers where you can't have sex before you fight.
Yes, no boom boom.
Oh yeah.
No boom boom before the fight.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, I don't know if there's science behind this, but let's talk logic. Obviously, after you jerk off, you will dip in testosterone, right? Because you've just gone and done something. And so I guess if you go into the training at that state, you might not have the drive. You might be a little bit calmer. But it also might be like training when people smoke weed.
Yeah, because
You might just have better clarity. Yeah.
So the pound's really good.
No, that's really good with doing weed and weights because weeds it helps the oxygen.
It does that, but
for your blood
mentally you're not as amped up when you go in. So you might train a little bit like with more clarity. So mentally you might have some more clarity. Physically, testosterone will probably go down. is, I think,
So
my most
really is
logical
trying to
answer.
ask, does post-nut clarity work at the gym?
I will try and tell you.
Anyone who's tried, let us know, please, because
Yeah,
we don't have a proper backing on this. This is interesting. I think this is a good question that you can answer. Keen to get your thoughts on motivation versus discipline.
Ooh, I'll answer, but I want you guys to answer since you guys have now back on from motivation and you're entering the form of discipline, right? How has that been? What is the difference? Let's talk about the difference between what motivation and discipline is. Though.
Yeah, motivation is for me. Yeah, it's sorry to get motivated, right? Like it's on your head. Like it's the start.
Okay.
Yeah, it's basically the start to get into
something.
Yeah, to do something. Yeah, and right now I'm motivated, but then what then the saying is and now it's just the discipline part because I'm right in the zone now.
Yep.
I just need to keep that consistency
to keep going.
And that's where I think I lacked the most for back in the days when I was younger and all that. It's like I'm always motivated,
but you're not disciplined.
I'm not disciplined because life gets in the way.
Life gets in the way.
This and that. And it's hard to stay consistent or even just just discipline doing one thing at a time because I get bored. When you're doing especially eating fucking chicken rice every day, you can't get bored. You know what I mean? Like I kind of want something.
I think, me personally, motivation is short term.
Yeah.
It's maybe dependent on how you feel about yourself.
Yeah.
Whereas discipline is a long term thing. It doesn't matter how you feel about it. It doesn't matter about how motivated you are.
Yeah. Yep.
You can feel shit, but discipline is the fact that you show up and you're still committing to the consistency of it. Because some weeks you might be motivated. You might have good sleep. You're keen to go to gym. You're motivated, but next day could be not that, and then your motivation is gone. So you don't want to.
So you're not going to do it.
So technically, there's no discipline there. So that's why I think it's short term.
Yeah, that's a great explanation. I think. Yeah.
So for a lot of in my brochure and a lot of my for my actual online fitness thing, right? The quote that I use, I don't know if anyone's done it, but I'm pretty sure I made this one up. Okay? So. Motivation makes you dream. Okay.
Makes you what, sorry?
Makes you dream.
Yeah, okay.
The dreams, is created from the motivation. I think you need that motivation to make to make a goal or a dream, right?
Yeah.
But discipline is what makes the dream come true. Right? So motivation is like that initial butterflies in your stomach dating phase. Everything's exciting, everything feels good and blah, blah, blah. But if you want a long-term relationship with something, you need the discipline because there are, like you said, going to be the shit days. You're going to fight with someone, think of it as a relationship. If you want that long-term relationship to happen, whether it's good, whether it's bad, you keep showing up and doing your thing.
So it's like honeymoon phase versus commitment.
Exactly. So motivation will always be the honeymoon phase. Everything about it will seem amazing. Man, I'm going to go work out. It sounds good. I'm going to get abs. It all sounds really good. Going to eat clean, measure my food, blah. But for one day, right? But then let's say that relationship keeps going. And there's those days where you just want to not go to the gym. And the discipline part is really good in the fact that it's not that it makes you keep doing it. It makes you jump back in if you do fall off. Motivation won't take you back, right? I always tell everyone, you can't be 100%. There's days that I can't go to the gym. I might be sick. I might be too busy. I might have to do it. But if I didn't have the discipline, the next week I'll be like, I missed last week. Let's reset next time. This was that phase.
There's excuses.
I've done. Yep.
Yeah.
I fucked up last week. I ate bad yesterday. Might as well just start again
next week.
And it never happens.
Yeah.
But the motivation will do that for you, right? But discipline will be like, you fucked up yesterday, bro. You're making up for it tomorrow. I think that's the difference.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's what keeps you back. It brings you back in, even if you fuck up.
Nice. Next question.
That's good. Thank you.
Let's do one more.
Let's do a couple more.
These are good.
Yeah, I mean, because we had a lot.
Yeah, we had a few.
We had a few. Yeah.
Thank you guys. Finally, people responded.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see.
We can pick one from each person or something.
Yeah. There's just a lot actually.
Actually, I have a curveball question while he's looking for it.
Yeah.
We're talking about what we like in a gym, blah, blah, blah. So obviously gym crushes exist. You go in a gym and you're going to see someone, you might take a liking to them physically or whatever. What is a non-creepy way to approach your gym crush? Dun-dun.
There is none.
But let's say you really like her. You really like her, Mikey. What would you gonna do?
Well, because she looks fucking great.
And she might give you a cheeky smile here and there.
Oh man, like I don't know. Hey, like I have never, I guess talked to or even tried approach a girl at the gym because like man, the gym is my sanctuary. You know what I mean? I don't want to fuck up my gym because then I will see her every day. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to be a dick.
He's thinking long term.
Yeah,
It's like the big game.
Man. I don't want to go out and then she's like, I have a boyfriend. And like, oh fuck, and then now I'm gonna have this, this awkwardness at the gym at my sanctuary where I always go every day.
Your temple has been defiled.
It is.
So don't approach them.
I think also most like 90% of times, most of them have like your phone.
They've got their headphones on.
They've got probably noise cancellation on, so you have to approach them. If they don't see you, you're fucking gonna be embarrassing as.
Yeah. But if anyone does have a gym crush success story, please share. I want to actually hear about like if this ever happens. Yeah. I feel like this is like a porn fantasy. It's like a delivery guy thing. It's like, oh my god.
I think maybe more of an American thing. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah. But it's tough, man, because a lot of girls going there just to want to work out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they don't want to get fucking macked on at the fucking gym, man. So I respect
it's like a rave again.
Yeah, I respect. Yeah,
please, next question.
All right.
Buying us some time. That was a good one.
Tips on how to calculate maintenance calories and be in a caloric deficit.
Ooh, that's a big one. That's a big knowledge.
Yeah, I thought that was a good question.
Yeah.
I think it goes to Dennis.
This one's like there's a lot to it, but let's just make it a little bit simplified because obviously in order to calculate that correctly, there's a lot of factors you need to put into like your activity rates, like your weight can be distributed very differently. Someone might weigh 80 kilos and be super jacked, and someone might be weigh 80 kilos and not have as much muscle mass. Even though you put in those same numbers, if you put in a calculator, it'll come out the same. Okay, so there's a lot of factors here. But what my suggestion for you is, if you don't have a coach and you don't have any experience in this, is number one, simplify it, and you'll have to do some trial and error. Go on to any sort of like maintenance, like calorie type of a calculator online. Most of them are quite good. They'll all have the same formulas and algorithm. Put in the stats as you know it and be truthful. A lot of people will downplay their weight, downplay their BMI and all this kind of stuff. Just put in what you can and you're gonna get a certain number. Try to eat on those numbers for about 2 to 4 weeks and actually see how your weight fluctuates. But if you're actually committing to this kind of journey where you're thinking about tracking calories, doing a deficit, please actually eat to those calories. Don't be eating out 2 times a week and not tracking those foods and going, I've been eating 1,800 calories like every week and I'm not losing weight. No, you're probably actually eating 3,000. Do you get what I mean? Like if you're gonna do it properly. Because like try to track them, see if that maintenance calories that you got online through a generic calculator works. If you're losing weight, then you actually got higher maintenance calories than that. If you are putting on weight and you're truthfully tracking, then your maintenance calories is lower than that. So you have to play a little bit of trial and error. There is no one in this world that can go 2,300 calories, 2,500 calories. There's no superpower like that. A lot of the bodybuilders and everyone actually go through a trial and error. These guys went through trial and error as well, where we use these generic programs to get us a ballpark figure, and then you go from there. But it only works if you play those numbers consistently. If you're not playing those numbers consistently, I promise you, no data will be pulled up.
Good answer.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right,
last
we'll
one?
make this last one.
Last one?
People always talk about protein. However, what are the importance of fats and carbs?
Oh,
I think I want to.
Now you know these.
This is what we've been learning. That's why I was like, this is a good
Take
question.
it away, my apprentices.
we.
Yeah, we know more about fats and,
I mean, he knows more about fats.
No, but he taught us.
Yeah.
Yes, now you guys know. So, okay. What's the importance of carbs, gentlemen?
Energy.
Right? It's energy. It's fuel. Carb is the natural fuel source for us to do what?
Recover.
Yeah. Recover, repair, but also to build muscle, to actually work out and everything like that. Carbs are actually a lot more important than we think. They're advertised as the devil. But in real life, if you don't have carbs, your brain doesn't work, your heart doesn't work, your muscles don't work, and you're gonna feel shit a lot of the times. A lot of the people who are thinking that they eat too many carbs, it's probably because 80% of your diet is probably just rice and noodles. You know, you've got like 2 eggs and you're like, protein of the day done. You know, it doesn't work like that. So carbs is important because it's fuel.
I think one thing that I found interesting through this training program that we're currently on is how carbs allowed you to work out for the next day, like giving you the energy for the next day.
Yes.
I think, you know, now that we're macro tracking, you mentioned that if I don't hit my carb intake for the day, your training next day
could be affected,
or you'll fatigue quicker. You know, you might not work out as strong. And I've actually noticed, even if I was down like say 20, 30 grams of carbs, that actually affects my next day. Like I fatigue a lot quicker.
You actually feel it, right?
Yeah, I actually feel it. Like, and I was really amazed because you know, thinking before like I'll train keto diet, no carbs, whatever. Yeah, that was stupid.
You don't feel good.
Yeah.
Some people say they feel good. All right, okay, whatever. But I think for the normal population of people, you need carbs.
Yes.
And make it good carbs.
Good
you know,
carbs,
like whole food carbs. Like rice is not a bad thing. These guys eat tons of rice right now and they're losing weight. Do you know what I mean? Those aren't bad. It's all in moderation. And I never suggest to eat a big heaping of carbs in one go because your body's probably not going to process all of it anyway. So split it out through the day, you know?
And what about fats? Because I found that when you explained fats to me, I thought that was really interesting.
Fats is really important too.
If you had too much fats or too little fats.
Yeah, because I'm not hitting my fat goal
as much.
Yeah, like I'm probably half it sometime or like less or sometimes a lot more because depending if I have my avocado or not.
Right.
Yeah, it's not like fucking avocado. It's like expensive. I'm like, I'm not buying avocado. Like
no sir.
No sir. Yeah.
But obviously, look, fats. When we talk about fats, is good fats. Your avocados, you know, almonds from fish and stuff like that. Not like your oils and drizzling in oils and like processed pizzas and stuff and KFC. We're talking about normal fats. Why fats are really important is number one, fats actually regulate our hormones a lot. Okay, so when we get to a low, like bodybuilders get down to like, you know, single digit fat percentages, it actually affects your hormones quite a bit. Like you become a lot more emotional, or for women, it actually stops periods.
Wow.
Yeah. Like you'll see a lot of female bodybuilders who go through a really long process of a bodybuilding journey or like severe fat loss, their periods don't come back for a few like months. So hormone regulation. For guys, it gets really hard to get hard on.
But really?
Yeah. Oh, no, if you don't have enough fat.
I haven't noticed.
No. What I mean is,
we get it, Mike. Can you calm down?
We've got one now. No, but what I mean is like when we're talking like severe like levels of like not having enough. This is like if your body fat levels get down to a certain point, hormones won't be regulated, so you do need some. Number two, obviously when your carbs are used up, fat is another source of energy. So you know it's always good to have some sort of a backup energy.
So if you're competing and you're naturally low on hormones, like you're coming to the competing phase.
Yes.
Do you have to increase your fats in order to balance that out a little bit more because you need the testosterone to
help? At that point, you're not looking for muscle gain.
You're fighting for that time.
Because at that point, no muscle gain is happening. There's no way you're eating enough or performing enough to have muscle gain. Hence why a very well structured diet for a bodybuilder and a coaching program is very important.
Yeah.
So if you just rush into it, you will fuck yourself up more than you think. Another one is fats are really, really important. In the certain cells in our body, like, you know, our neurons, which are nerve pathways, myelin sheaths, so like certain parts of our bodies and our cellular structures are dependent on fat. They're created from fat and lipids. So if you don't have it, there's a lot of things in your body that won't repair or replenish themselves. And another thing is there are certain vitamins and minerals that are fat soluble, which means they only dissolve in fat, not water. So you need these fats to carry these minerals and vitamins. So essentially, they're all important. But what's the most important thing is it needs to be in a good balance.
Yeah. So we talked about if you don't have enough. What if you have too much good fats?
Obviously, if you have too much fats, anything too much in our body gets stored or wasted out.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. So you're either shitting it out or you're putting it on your body as fat. Is what we like to say. Yeah.
Okay.
Same as carbs.
Yeah.
Don't eat all of it. You're either shitting it out or you're just putting it back into the fat cells. But interesting fact, more muscle you have, the more storage cells you have for these carbs that you can utilize before it gets stored into the fat deposits. Yeah, so that's why you'll see a lot of guys who are really muscular and they're loading up for carbs for their like bodybuilding comps. More muscle mass, the more they can load as well. So girls, more muscles. means you can eat more carbs.
Yeah, that's right. More muscle, more because you need more energy to fuel your muscles.
And protein's obviously protein.
Yeah.
You need it for muscle, muscle.
Yeah.
Muscle. Yeah.
There was actually quite a few more questions.
Yeah.
I think we're just a bit wrapped up for time.
Yeah, time,
It's
Maybe
long.
what we can do is either we have another episode or we can explain it in a story and just answer it.
Or we can just do a little reel.
Yeah, so we haven't forgot about these questions.
Yeah, they're all there.
Yeah, we can maybe just do a little reel of answering some of these questions. So, yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Lots of information.
Yeah,
That's
I hope
right.
you guys enjoyed that.
Yeah, if you guys want to keep hearing more about our gym progress, and I reckon we'll probably definitely do more about our fitness
definitely,
journey
yeah.
because
I mean, I got my comp coming
we're
up
still
too.
going. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's got his bodybuilding competing coming up too. So we'd like to see how you're feeling
Yeah.
when it
As
gets
I
closer.
go.
Yeah.
I'm okay right now.
Yeah, because I heard that when it gets very close to your comp, he's
get pretty depressed.
Yeah, that's
You'll
right.
see me just like,
Yeah.
but yeah, we're gonna have fun. But that was really good. Thank you for letting me have that outlet, guys, as well.
Thank you for sharing.
A lot of these answers, like, look, we can clarify more because we try to give as simple as we can.
Simple, yeah, that's
but there's a lot more data behind it, a lot more science behind it too. So just reach out to any of these boys as well. Reach out to me. You know, I'm happy to answer any questions in 3 DMs. Yep.
Cool. All right. Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you. Rice.
On one.
Woo!